Brilliance Audio presents University of Berkshire Hathaway, 30 years of lessons learned from Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger at the annual shareholders meeting by Daniel Pecaut and Corey Wren, performed by Tom Parks. I graduated from Harvard in 1979 with a philosophy degree. While there, I took only one economics course. I found it too theoretical. Not anything like the investing I saw happening in my family's business. My grandfather, father, and uncle had founded Pecaut and Company, a stock brokerage firm, in 1960. My grandfather, Russell, often marveled that they made money from day one and never looked back. My involvement in the family business began in the late 1970s, when I was working summers in the back office. I did the grunt work, including updating the S&P 500 tear sheets. Back then, the S&P sent its clients color-coded binders that were alphabetized like a set of encyclopedias. Every month, a packet would arrive in the mail with colored sheets that matched the binders. Green sheets were large company stocks. Yellow sheets were small company stocks. Blue sheets were for bonds. Someone needed to manually update the binders by replacing old sheets with the new. That was my job. I learned a lot by reading those sheets. After graduating, I entered the firm as a full-time employee. I felt inadequate and clueless. Our small, family-run operation had no formal training program or structure. My dad rarely sat me down to discuss how things were going. I tortured myself with my own self-judgment about how poorly I thought I was doing. I learned by trial and error. One error was option trading. It was quick and exciting. You could, theoretically, triple your money in a short time. Do that a few times and you'd have a good year. I spent a year trying to develop a successful option trading strategy. And at the end of the year, I had made about $100. Calculating that into the amount of time I spent, I'd made about 10 cents an hour. Clearly, that wasn't worth it. Trading in the short term may work for some people, but it wasn't for me. I needed a better approach. Then, in 1982, I read the book The Money Masters by John Train, in which he profiles 9 brilliant investors, including John Templeton and Warren Buffett. A light bulb came on when I finished the book. I said, I'm going back to school. These investors are my professors. My curriculum is everything they say and write. I was excited. I would study the most brilliant investors in the world like they were my professors at Harvard. I was on fire to learn everything I could about them and to figure out how to invest like them. From that point forward, I saw my role in the firm primarily as a learning organism. My thought was that the more I learned, the better my decision-making would be, and the better I would serve our clients. Over time, my favorite professors would include Sir John Templeton of the Templeton Growth Fund. In 1987, a group of investors and I traveled to John Templeton's headquarters in the Bahamas to meet with him. In his mahogany-paneled office, he was as gracious and dignified as I'd imagined. That fabulous meeting remains one of the highlights of my career. George Michaelis of Source Capital, a top-performing closed-end fund. Jean-Marie Eveillard, who ran what is now the First Eagle Global Fund. Bob Rodriguez of First Pacific Advisors, and Marty Whitman of Third Avenue Value Investors. These experts would all offer tremendous insight and direction. But of all the brilliant professors, none of them has been more instructive than Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger of Berkshire Hathaway. After realizing that Buffett was one of the guys to learn from, I devoured all his annual letters to shareholders from Berkshire. When I met a friend who had Buffett's letters from his partnership prior to taking over Berkshire, I devoured those too. I loved reading them. From where I lived, it was only a 90-minute drive to Omaha and Berkshire's annual meetings, but to attend you had to be a shareholder. Undaunted, I bought a single share of Berkshire Hathaway for $2,570 that year. That share paved the way for over 30 years of first-class tuition from two of the greatest professors you could ever hope to learn from.